So now we're going to go the opposite way. We're going to convert a base 10 number into some other random base n. So we're taking it out of our normal language into some alien language, base n. If you look up online, there's a lot of different ways to do this, but I have found kind of the fastest way, the most efficient way, and the way that students seem to catch on to the best is the way that I'm going to show you in the notes. And it involves like a little bit of long division, but it's not too bad. So we're going to do repeated division, and we're going to keep track of our remainders, and you'll be surprised how easy you'll be able to come up with your answer. So we've got the number 341, but we want to convert it into base 5. So 341 is a base 10 number. Remember, if you don't write anything, it's assumed to be base 10. So 341, we want to convert it into base 5, which means we need to divide out all the 5s we can. And so we're just going to divide by 5. Now I'm going to start down here kind of towards the bottom. And I'm going to divide by 5. And I'm just going to keep track of my remainders. And you can just use any kind of like a little dinky calculator. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. So if we take 341 and we divide by 5, you get 68. And 68 times 5 is 340, and you can see there's a remainder of 1. So I'm going to write over here, remainder 1. And then I'm going to divide again. So divide by 5 again. 68 divided by 5 is 13 and a little bit, so put 13 in here. 13 times 5 is 65, so that gives me a remainder of 3. I'm going to divide again. 5 goes into, this time I don't need the calculator, 5 goes into 13 twice. 2 times 5 is 10. That gives me a remainder of 3. And we cannot divide anymore because this number at the top, the quotient, is smaller than the number you're dividing by. So basically, you're looking at your answer. You get your final quotient, and you keep track of all these remainders. And the number is 2, 3, 3, 1, base 5. And that's how simple it is to convert a number from base 10 into some other base. You just divide, and then you keep track of your remainders. That means if you get a remainder of 0, you have to write it, or you'll like miss a place holder, and you'll miss one of your digits. So that's how we can do this. Super simple, and you don't need any kind of a fancy calculator. All right, let's do, I'll come over here and do part B. So 2,239, we've got to come down pretty far down here. I'm going to divide by 6. Now this one I'm not going to show all the calculator work, it'll take forever. 6 divided into 2239, it goes in there 373 times, just trust me, with a remainder of 1. And then we're going to divide by 6 again. This time 6 divides into 373 62 times, and you'll also get a remainder of 1. Keep dividing by 6 because they want it converted into base 6. So 6 goes into 62 10 times with a remainder of 2. You can keep dividing. 6 goes into 10 once with a remainder of 4. And at that point, you're done. You can't divide anymore. And so your answer is going to be 1, 4, 2, 1, 1 with a little subscript of a 6 because it's base 6. So divide, keep track of your remainders, and then you just write it down. See, that would be like easy points on a test if you could just remember that this is the process. That's the trouble, is remembering on test day. Let's do this last one. 1,463, we're going to convert it into base 12. So I'll start down here. We're going to divide by 12. Now if you divide that, you get 121. So it'll go in there 121 times, and you will get a remainder of 11, which is okay to have as a remainder because we're dividing by 12. So the remainder should be smaller than what you're dividing by. So that's good. This is 11. And then we're going to divide by 12 again. 12 goes into 121 10 times with a remainder of 1. So then you go, okay, if I'm following the same process, then I'm circling. The problem is you can't write 10 and 11 because that's 2 digits. You have to go back into that weird base 12 language, which is to call the 10 a T and to call the 11 an E. So your number would be T1E, base 12. It spells tie. Did I do that on purpose? Probably. Knowing me, yeah, I did that on purpose. So T1E, base 12, is what that number would be. So divide repeatedly into whatever the base is. So divide that number into the number you're trying to convert over and over, and keep track of the remainders. And that's how you can convert a number very easily from base 10 into base n.